Hello, everybody. So, I'm going to be filming a video today looking at two games I played at the recent Four Nations Chess League competition. So, I was playing for the Sussex Martlets first team that weekend. So, it's the weekend of the 7th of February. We're playing in the second division of the 4NCR. In the first game, I was white against Rahul Babu. He's a candidate master, so he's been above 2200 FIDE, and his ECF rating is also very high, like something like 2320 or something of that nature. So anyway, I got to the venue in Coventry, and I was somewhat tired. I'd been out for a few work drinks the night before, but I had about an hour to prep for my opponent. I saw he sort of quite consistently played this Sicilian second move e6. So I needed to devise a system against that. So I came up with this move c3, which is interesting. He played knight f6, which is second most common here. I think most common is actually d5. And if you follow the line, I think you get something which is often reached in the open Sicilian. And knight b5 here, I see. So obviously you're threatening knight c7. And if the queen just goes back, you then take knight d5 takes. So you've just got basically a very sort of stable position. So that's obviously one line. Knight c6 is also a move. And then actually it's bishop d3, which has like never been played here. Which is interesting. But yeah, but again, knight a3 is normal. If takes, knight b5 is already good. So anyway, that's sort of the general idea. But my opponent played this move, knight f6. I then played e5, played knight d5, and yeah, this is what I prepared. G3. So I don't know like how many times I'll be able to use this line again because it sort of lost its shock value. Obviously, the main move is d4, and you get a sort of position that I think can also be reached from the Alapin, sort of mainline Alapin, like pretty normal stuff. Very slight edge, very solid. So anyway, so I found this move g3, which I saw in the prep quite rare. I thought it could be interesting to try it out. So we get takes. I make the fianchetto and I play d4. So similar to the other lines, but I've spent a couple of tempo making a fianchetto. Takes, queen c7, which is still theory. So I actually played the second most common move here, which is c4. Knight d2 is played more often. And then a possible line is something like this. Yeah, I mean, white's not got much, but if you kind of like the long diagonal bishop, it can be quite a fun position, I suppose. But anyway, I played this move c4. And this was his first quote-unquote mistake of the game, was play knight b4. Having said that, I missed the correct reply, which actually knight c3. Admittedly, I didn't even consider this in the game, but this should actually be good for white after some position like this. It's a bit crazy, but anyway. So anyway, I didn't play that. I played knight a3 with the idea this has been reached between two strong Polish players. Bishop e5, queen e4, transposes back somewhat, bishop d7, bishop d1, bishop f6, bishop f4. And this is where he made his first blunder of the game, which was queen a5. Computer thinks after this queen b6, I should just take the pawn. He can then take here. Bishop a4, so it's getting very crazy. Wow. And after something like this, it will trade down into a into some ending where I'm sort of a pawn up, but I presume the point is like this pawn's weak enough that it's not you know, not doing much. Instead he played this queen a5, which allows me to take here, and the difference is obviously he can't now recapture. So I'm hitting on d7. So we get this now long series of exchanges where he takes on b2, and we've got this very complex position. I was looking at like, does bishop d6 work? I remember in the game, but I think just like rook d8 doesn't particularly help. Or was it taking on a3? I can't quite remember. I realized I can probably just do this. Now he should actually go here, here, here. In that kind of position, I think I'm doing somewhat well because I continue to have the bishop pair. And you can get this pawn back, but also this pawn's going to be potentially quite dangerous. Interesting. So, but he didn't do that. He actually took on a1. I took on a8. He went to c3. I went rook d1. So apparently rook f1 is more accurate. I don't know why. Or rook e1, so that if queen takes, I can actually go here. This one makes a bit of sense. I mean, I think the point is in many lines I'm running like this. I played rook d1, which is like very natural, prevents any rook d8s. He took on a3. And I was very happy with my position with the bishop pair, because my thinking is like, for a start, if he takes, for example, here, I've got this fork. If he goes here, this, and the rook's actually got no squares on the back rank. So he's got to deal with the threat of bishop d6. Computer recommends queen a5. The point being, if here, he goes here. But there I can apparently play queen e7, which I must admit I don't quite understand the point. Perhaps he's played the normal. I was to play bishop d6 and attack like that. I don't know quite. But anyway, I'm doing well. But he played this move e5, I play bishop g5, hitting on e7 again. Now he should play bishop d4, which I was going to play bishop e7. Yeah, and I'm still very comfortable. But he played this queen a5, which allows queen f5. So obviously by playing e5, he's given me a new target on h7. If he plays f6, I'm still mating with rook d7. Quite brutal. So yeah, there's really not a lot to do by this point. Rook here, and I just take and take. So not a lot to do. G6, Queen F6, Queen A6, obviously trying to swap, but I can simply block. Queen A3, Bishop H6, last chance, Queen C1, and he resigned here. So that was a great win for my first game, which basically gained me a few rating points. I think specifically, oh, it doesn't say there, but as of 2009, it probably gave me about like 15 or 18 points or something like that. Okay, so my second game of the day was against Alfie Onslow, who is similar rating to Rahul, similar age as well, also a very strong player. And this game unfortunately didn't go so well, so I lost this one. So we got E4, and I played the Sicilian. So obviously this weekend I had a Sicilian as both white and black. He played Bishop B5, G6, so the main line of the Rossolimo, and he opted for not taking a piece. And I realized in the game he was probably basing his prep on a game that I played recently, which would be on the database, which was against an English grandmaster called John Ems. I think what I did wrong in this game is I kind of played in to a similar line I did against John Ems. And I think in retrospect, one of my lessons is that it's actually better when you know your opponent's in prep to make something up. So I could have played, for example, E5 here as a whole different theory, A6. D5's very interesting. I've never seen that before. Wow, that is a cool move. D5. Anyway, I've got quite a few different ideas in this position now. I'm not going to reveal them all because I might face this line again. And I don't want to sort of give too much of my prep away. But my problem was this position, I basically reached before and I played the same moves, Rook B8 and Queen B6, which I don't think are the most accurate. I mean, like Bishop F5 is potentially more accurate here, or even F6 immediately. I was a little worried about this knight getting trapped after like knight H4, threatening F3. We've got this quite cute move. Is E6 a thing? No. C5, wow. Knight D6, very nice move. I mean, that's a really cool tactic, actually, C5 there. Still take on D4. Interesting. Bishop F5 is a good move in this position. I have to say here, you can play... And you sort of have the dynamics, right? So the idea, I think, is yes, this is a weakness, but you're just going to play for activity. Okay. In the game, we got B3, I played F6. And he was playing very quickly, as you can see. And this is where I'm playing my first blunder of the game, which was actually Rook here. I should just play Rook C8. And he's certainly got something from the opening, but it's not like an incredible amount. Would have still been balanced, but in the game, after this, you can see I'm quite a lot worse. I mean, I thought like I'm hitting A2, but after H3, yeah, because the problem is I'm so weak down this file and everything. Yeah, I thought I had to get some activity, but this just turned out to be really grim, and I missed this move Queen E1. The point being that moves like G4's threat, or like just Rook E8's the threat. So like I need to sort of block this file to stop Rook E8, and this is just met with this. I can't take really because the queen's coming in here. So I try this in desperation, like wanting to get some counterplay. But he just plays a very clever move, not even taking that. Um, and then there's nothing I can do to stop mate on this rank and here. Um, so anyway, that was a bit of one where I got caught in the opening a bit, and certainly need to work on like if you know what your opponent's preparation idea might be, to try a different variation. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that classical game analysis, and let me know in the comments. Thank you.